Are you ready to nerd out over crochet stitch mechanics with me? Today, we're going to do a deep dive into decrease stitches. So, crochet story time. I do primarily amigurumi in the round, and so when I first learned how to crochet, I immediately learned about the invisible decrease as the sort of standard way to do a decrease in amigurumi. Since then, I have learned also about the regular decrease. I've heard a number of people say that they do the invisible decrease when they're doing something in the round versus they use a regular decrease when they're crocheting back and forth rows, like for something like a blanket or a scarf. But I didn't really think too deeply about it. But then a few months ago, I was watching some tutorial videos from the beloved amigurumi designer Pica Pau. And Pica Pau said that she does regular decreases in her amigurumi. And I was shocked. I think of Pica Pau as like the amigurumi person. And I kind of thought invisible decreases were maybe just like the way that you do decreases in amigurumi, but not for Pica Pau. So ever since then, I've been super interested in doing a deep dive experiment on the differences between a regular decrease and an invisible decrease. Pica Pau did note that she does the yarn under method as opposed to the yarn over method, also known as the X stitch versus the V stitch. And she does yarn under with regular decreases, and that perhaps makes a little bit of a difference. So I decided to set out to do an experiment where I would do the exact same pattern multiple times, but vary the way I did the decreasing. So I decided to test out regular decreases versus invisible decreases, but also yarn over versus yarn under, since it seems like those could come into play with the way that the final stitch comes out. So I set out to do an experiment, and I'm here today to share my results with you. So I made 4 of the exact same sphere, and I made it 4 different times with 4 different decreases. I made it using yarn over regular decrease, yarn over invisible decrease, yarn under regular decrease, and yarn under invisible decrease. So here are my 4 spheres that I made. I'm going to show the close-ups of how each of the stitches came out in a moment. But first off, let me just tell you a little bit about the, we'll say, parameters of the experiment. This feels very scientific. I love it. So I made the exact same sphere 4 times. It's a very basic pattern of a sphere. And I used Pica Pau's own yarn. It's called Cotton 87 from Pica Pau by Hobie. You can see that I almost used up the entire skein. I had a little bit of a yarn chicken moment towards the end, but I made it. And here is what a skein looks like that is full. And I used the same color for all 4 of the spheres, even though it was a little bit boring, but I really wanted to keep everything else totally identical for the experiment. And then I used a 2.75 millimeter crochet hook. This is what Pica Pau recommends for this yarn. So we are going to take a deep dive into each one of these methods of decreasing. I'm going to show the mechanics of how it's done, and then we're going to take a very close-up look on how it came out. And then at the end, we'll look at all 4 side by side, do some comparisons, and I will share my conclusions and takeaways and come to a conclusion on what I will use going forward when I'm doing decreasing. Can you guess which one I'm going to land on? Note that if you are a beginner and you want to see the mechanics of these stitches much more slowly, I made a fully separate video tutorial where I walk through each of the 4 versions more slowly and in more detail. So I will link that video here and in the description box below if you want to take a slower look at how exactly each of these stitches are done. With that, let's dive into the first method. So to start off with, we'll do yarn over regular decrease. So we go under both loops, yarn over and pull all the way through, go under both loops of the next stitch, yarn over and pull all the way through, and now yarn over one more time and go all the way through all 3 of those loops. So first up, we have the results of the yarn over regular decrease. So let's take a look. You can definitely see there are some gaps, and you can almost see like the knots that come from doing the regular decreasing. You can sort of see them going down there and there across. So this is sort of the standard, maybe original method, regular decrease, doing yarn over. And you can maybe see why people do the invisible decrease because you can see that these are quite visible. Next up, let's do yarn over invisible decrease. So we're gonna go under just the front loop of the first stitch, and then again under just the front loop of the second stitch, yarn over and pull through both of those front loops and pull up, and then yarn over again and pull through both of those loops. Next up, we have the results of yarn over invisible decrease. And you can already see that this is looking a little bit tighter, not quite as many gaps. It still looks a little bit messy. I think the way I do my crocheting is still not perfect, and it's tough to not make it a little bit messy looking at the end, especially with stuffing and then closing it up all the way. But I do think that this one overall looks quite a bit neater than the regular decrease with yarn over. You can still sort of see the line of decreasing, but they're all a little bit cleaner and tighter than the regular decrease method. And if we take a look at these side by side, so here we have both yarn over. So on the left, we have the regular decrease, and on the right, we have the invisible decrease. I think it's pretty clear that the invisible decrease on the right looks a little bit cleaner. Clearly people do invisible decreases for a reason. So between these two, I would definitely have to go invisible decrease over regular decrease. This is all yarn over. Next up, we'll take a look at the yarn unders. So next up, we're going to do a regular decrease with yarn under. We're going to go all the way under both loops of the next stitch, do a yarn under and pull it all the way through, then all the way under both loops of the next stitch, yarn under again, pull it through. Now we've got 3 loops on our hook, and now we're gonna do the yarn over and pull it all the way through all 3. So here are the results of yarn under regular decrease, also known as perhaps the Pica Pau method. You can see here the yarn under X stitches, but then it still ends up looking pretty messy at the bottom. Again, maybe it's me and Pica Pau does it way cleaner than I did, but you can definitely see the sort of more visible, like knots almost, of doing the regular decreasing. There's some gaps. And it just looks a little bit messy. Let's compare this regular decrease with yarn under versus yarn over. So here on the left again is the yarn over regular decrease. If you look side by side, this actually gives us another good chance to compare yarn over on the left versus yarn under on the right. The left is considered the V stitch and the right is the X stitch. And to me, the X stitch yarn under looks way neater overall than yarn over. So that has definitely become my preference, just like Pica Pau for Amigurumi. But when it comes to the decreasing, the regular decreases are pretty noticeable, and I don't think that I love them. Although there is something somewhat satisfying about actually the mechanics of doing the regular decrease. It almost feels more like you're pulling through every time and you can pull tight, versus it can be a little bit trickier with the invisible decrease to just go through the front loops only. So it was fun to test out the actual mechanics here of a regular decrease. So last up, we're gonna do yarn under invisible decrease. Front loops only of the next stitch, and then again, the one after that. And now we do a yarn under and pull it through both of those 2 front loops, and now do a yarn over and pull it through both. Last up, here are the results of the yarn under invisible decrease. Look how neat that looks. Still not perfect. I think I have some room for improvement with my actual stitching, but here we have again yarn under. You can see the X stitches, and then invisible decrease, way fewer gaps and things. A lot less noticeable that you are doing a decrease. So let's compare the 2 yarn unders side by side. So on the left, we have yarn under regular decrease, Pica Pau method. And on the right, we have yarn under invisible decrease. It's a pretty noticeable difference. The right invisible decrease just looks a lot neater and cleaner. And now let's compare both of the invisible decreases, yarn over on the left and yarn under on the right. These are both of the invisible decreases. So overall, I think they both look pretty good, but I think I definitely have a preference for the yarn under. Again, we can look at the balls. So the V stitch yarn over on the left and the X stitch yarn under on the right. It just looks so much like neater with those X stitches kind of stacked up against each other. And then when we get down to the bottom, yeah, it's just a little bit neater. And let's put all 4 side by side if we can. So we've got yarn over, regular decrease, yarn over, invisible decrease, yarn under, regular decrease, and yarn under, invisible decrease. So of these 4, if I had to pick one, can you guess which one I'm gonna say? I'm gonna go with the yarn under, invisible decrease. In general, I think my conclusions based on all of this are that invisible decreases are the standard for a reason. Not terribly surprising, but feels a bit satisfying to have done the experiment and come away with that conclusion. It's interesting to actually do the regular decreases and feel what it's like to do the mechanics. The mechanics themselves, actually, I kind of like doing, but in the end, the way it looks is clearly more visible. and it's called an invisible decrease for a reason. And then overall, this is just like further chance to test yarn over versus yarn under for me, and I just really prefer the look of the yarn under for amigurumi. Depends what yarn you're using, especially this yarn that's cotton and it's really has good stitch definition and you can really see what's happening. These X stitches are so much neater than the V stitches, but if you're using something like chenille, which kind of fluffs back up to whatever stitch you just did, it really doesn't matter nearly as much. But for this type of yarn, I definitely have a preference in the end for yarn under. And then if we look at the invisible decreases in general versus the regular decreases, invisible decreases are definitely taking the cake here. And if I had to pick one going forward that I'm gonna use, it'll be yarn under, invisible decrease. So maybe not terribly surprising in the end, but does validate something that we already thought. There's a reason that invisible decreases are considered the standard for amigurumi. And so I definitely recommend sticking with invisible decreases. Honestly, I think it's fine yarn over versus yarn under, whichever way you prefer. I just in the end prefer yarn under. And all this to say, like, none of this matters that much. Like, if you take a step back, these aren't really all that different. And also, decreasing is happening at the bottom of whatever piece you're doing. And so people aren't usually like looking really, really close up at the bottom of whatever piece it is. And so it's really not a huge deal one way or the other. These all totally work, and it is just a matter of preference. But fun to do this sort of scientific quote unquote experiment to try all of these different methods out and come away with some conclusions. So here we have it, yarn under, invisible decrease is my winner. So there we have it. What a fun experiment. I love making videos like this, and I'm already plotting my future experiments. Next up, I think I'm going to make a similar video to this one, but have you heard of the invisible increase? It's way less common, I think, than the invisible decrease, but I am planning to test it out similar to this experiment we did today, and of course, share my results with you. So stay tuned in the future for that one. But I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for keeping me company, and I'll see you next time. Bye.